Hello, welcome to your Southeast Idaho Weather Hazard Brief for the first weekend of 2019. We do have several hazards to talk about across the weekend here. We have one more afternoon of fairly warm temperatures before a weather system impacts our weather starting later this evening and into Monday. So I'm going to show you an experimental uh, hazard grid to start off our briefing here. This is called the Winter Storm Severity Index. It gives us an idea of where we are expecting minor, moderate, major, or extreme impacts across our area. So across Southeast Idaho here, we are seeing minor and areas of moderate impact. Now this is accounting for snow amounts, blowing snow conditions, ground blizzard conditions. You can see higher impacts here across Wyoming, but across our area here, we're indicating mostly this is taking into account the snow amounts that we are forecasting across our area. In light of the forecasted snow that we have and the forecasted blowing snow impacts across our area, we've gone ahead for now at least and issued a winter weather advisory across the areas you see in purple. That includes the Eastern Highland areas with the exception of a couple of areas. That includes the Teton Valley areas and the Montpelier region, Bear Lake area. This is in effect later this evening, the overnight hours, 11 o'clock until 5 p.m. On Sunday here. And this is to account for that expected snowfall, primarily the expected snowfall impacts, including on the passes and some areas of blowing snow Sunday afternoon. So let's get into some of these details with this first system. Now we're expecting the start of the precip to start later this evening, later this afternoon and early evening. We're saying 5 o'clock, but it'll be around 5 o'clock. The precip will come in from the south and southwest and then spread northward, upwards toward Montana. The peak of snowfall activity is going to be in the overnight hours here, so as you see it spread to the north, we see snowfall across the Snake River Plain and headed toward Island Park, West Yellowstone here. And then we also see some snow showers across the Central Mountains, the Stanley Basin, and the Sawtooth area, Now we're going to see some uncertainty in the forecast across the Snake River Plain and along the interstate corridor, depending on where possible heavy snow band sets up in the overnight hours. So our confidence in the snow amount that is forecast, depending on where you point and click, in this first particular snow system is a little bit low. So we have wide-ranging forecasted amounts in our models, anywhere from 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, upwards of 3 inches. So it's quite a range for a 6-hour period here. But we are expecting snow for areas of the Snake River Plain in the overnight hours later tonight into Sunday morning. Blowing snow risk for Sunday morning is in the moderate to high range across the interstate corridor. So we are expecting some impacts from blowing snow, and we also see some areas of red, which is a high impact along the mountains of the Central Mountains, the Sawtooth area, and also the mountains to the east. And that trend just continues, and it continues to spread in coverage as we go later into the overnight hours into Monday morning. Here's a look at your snowfall total for this first storm. We see those that kind of range of snowfall amounts across the Snake River Plain. Some areas have a little bit higher of a snowfall amount. Take that with a little bit of a grain of salt because it might be a little bit less, might be a little bit more. And then the higher amounts, of course, in the mountains are expected, and those higher amounts forecast and where we have the advisory in effect. That includes Island Park, the Victor Pine Creek Pass area, and then the Caribou Highlands here. Now, Storm 2, we do have another storm right after this first storm, so there'll be a little bit of a break, but not too long. That'll start to arrive the next evening, so Sunday evening into Monday morning, and that'll come in from the west. And then we'll see widespread snow in the overnight hours Sunday evening into Monday morning. Now, all this blue is indicating snow across the entire area here, so overnight into Monday morning, you'll wake up to some snow. And that'll continue into the day Monday. Now, this system, the Monday system, we'll call it, is much more impactful than the Sunday system. Not to say that Sunday isn't going to be impactful, because it will be in some areas, but Monday system looks to be a more widespread impactful system, particularly in the morning hours. So we have several areas of high impact for blowing snow risk. And that includes just about everywhere. We have some areas where it's in this yellow moderate, but we have blowing snow across the entire area. We have wind gusts upwards of 45 miles an hour across the interstate corridor, and then some lighter gusts in portions of our zone. That includes areas to the north along our border of Montana. But for the most part, we have some pretty gusty winds that are in our forecast for Monday. That'll continue through the late afternoon, early evening, and then start to improve as we go into the late evening hours. Your snow total for the second system, the Monday system, it's quite a bit higher in the mountains. Your snow total is anywhere upwards of a foot here on the mountaintops in the central mountains. Now, we're not expecting a whole lot of snowfall accumulation in the Snake River Plain. Again, take these snowfall amounts that I'm pointing at here with a little bit of a grain of salt. We are expecting some snow. This is a little somewhat uncommon to get these snowfall amounts here in the eastern Magic Valley, and then toward the Arco area, and just shown these are some pretty high snowfall amounts. So we're going to have to watch this area pretty closely. And then the snow will start to dissipate and push to our east later on Monday evening. Okay, we will end our briefing with those two systems. We do have a break on Tuesday before another weather system arrives on Wednesday, but we will end it there. Any questions or concerns, feel free to call us at any time.